Welcome to another episode of Vision Angling. So tonight I've brought myself down with Ian. We've come down to Minehead. I say lockdown's eased, so we've been stuck indoors pretty much 3 months like the rest of you, so we've made the most of it and come out, try for a couple of ray. We're on our third cast now. I say, you can see from the clip that I inserted here, it's a very, very big tide. It's shot on out. There's loads of sand in front of us here, so it's relatively comfortable fishing at the minute. But I've just poured in my second cast there. There's a dogfish. So hopefully there's not too many of them about today, but still, all in all, fish is a fish, so we ain't going to complain. It's a lovely day. The only thing that's killing it a little bit is the easterly wind, but fingers crossed we can get into a few ray, and yeah, hopefully it's a good session. Well, we managed it. I'll say, one of my casts a minute ago, one rod, me ratchet clicked, picked into it, and it just kept running slack. Something was on there, I just couldn't keep up with it. So unfortunately I missed that bite. But as I sort of put that one back down, ratchet went on the other rod, and the very feisty little small-eyed ray. This one made a very clear presence of himself. Got himself up in the tide, and he was gone. I say, nice fish. Got 3.5 pound, nothing massive. But yeah, fingers crossed we can get into a few more. Like I say, it's a very big tide, so it's gone out a long old way. So once that tide starts to flood, hopefully the fish come back on the feed properly, we can get a few more of them. Smashing. Right, I want to get this one popped back, and we'll get back to you soon. Absolutely lovely day down here today. Like I said, I don't know if you can see how far out the tide's gone. See that up there? Massive tide today. It's just starting to push its way in now. Like I say, hopefully we get the tide. I'll zoom in here, if you can see that there. Just over the back there, massive sandbar that comes out of Minehead Harbour. That was all exposed earlier on, so we were kind of fishing ourselves into a little hole really. But yeah, that's cleared now, so it's starting to flood. And yeah, fingers crossed we're getting a few more. Like I say, you got Ian just down there to my left, just keeping a good few baits going out, keeping himself busy. So there's a couple of chaps down past us there. I haven't seen many other fish coming out, to be fair, but I'm hoping, like I say, once it starts flooding, just out there on the back where the tide is, it drops down into a nice gully. I say, but obviously when you're whacking it past that, it's quite snaggy out in the open channel part. So you've got to fish like a level ground. You go too far, you get into the boulders and start snagging again. But I say now it's flooding, it's starting to flood quite hard. So as soon as we're up over that bank, we can get them in there, fishing that gutter there till it's filling up. Like I say, the bigger baits will go on, and yeah, try and pick up a few more fish. I've got a big blow lug and peeler crab bait going out in a little bit. Fingers crossed. So there's a few hounds showing and everything down here at the minute, so we'll chuck one of them out, see if we can't pull out a hound or a nice little spring codling. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Right, well the tide's just turned now. It's about 3 o'clock. So we've just finished the slack tide. It's just started moving again now. I put a bait out about 10 minutes before the bottom of the tide, and I've just left it sat there. And looked up at my rod, I had a couple of little pulls, no spectacular bite like earlier on or nothing. Managed another one. Another beautiful little spotted. I say I'm hoping to try and get into a blonde, but I say after sort of wanting spotters down our way, it's nice to have a session where you're pulling them out. I say, I don't know if anyone's ever seen the eye of a spotted there, but they're absolutely lovely. Very cool fish. But yeah, absolutely none of them want to play ball for a photo today. As soon as you catch an hold of them, they're all curling up like a little parcel. Right pain. But yeah, that one was taken on a single sand eel. So yeah, lovely fish. I'm gonna go and pop this one back, get another couple of baits out there, and fingers crossed we can get into a few more.
Yeah, do you want me to get that in?
How small-eyed ray. I don't know if you saw on the footage there, but it was right out on the surface, miles out. Give us a good tussle. Unfortunately got tangled over one of Ian's lines and didn't want to come in. It was pulling against the line and going back out. So it was a bit of a nightmare to get it in, so we didn't get the full footage of it landing it. But we're going to get this one popped back and hopefully get into a bigger one too.
Yeah.
Right, well, we're down at the second venue now. So we've come just down the road essentially from the main spot of Minehead we were fishing earlier on. We've headed down towards the golf links. We're more sort of town beach really than what you sort of call golf links, I think. I wanted to really go around the corner, but it's a bit of a walk. We left it a little bit late, I think. We've got about 2 hours until the top of tide. Yeah, so first bait's just put a blow lug and peeler crab bait out on a 2-foot pulley pennel. And I've got a 4-foot pulley dropper with sandal and squid wrap again, just to see if we can find another little ray, anything like that. As the tide comes up, I'm going to put on probably a 2-hook loop rig or something like that with some smaller hooks, because the beach down here is absolutely riddled with lugworm casts. So there should be plenty of flatfish and stuff like that on the beach. So we'll see if we can find something like that for you in a little bit. But yeah, I've also brought down a few slipper limpet. They'll be going on later as well once it starts to get dark. We always tend to find that they never fail really. Any beach, any tide, any fish, they do the business, to be fair. So it's quite a nice beach here by the looks of it. There's a couple of rockier areas up there, like I say, that I think probably would have produced a little bit more. There was a couple of charter boats sat just off the point there as we were walking up. But yeah, all we can do is try. Like I say, it's the first time here, so if anyone's got any sort of pointers or anything like that, or marks that would be better for us to go to, further along, further round, or anything like that, just drop them in the comments or sort of message us, something like that. And yeah, fingers crossed we can get into a couple of fish. Right, so I think that's the end of today's session. Like I say, we've come down here today, we've tried. Main target was a blonde, didn't pan out, we got spotted in the small eyes. And yeah, we were hoping for a little bit more on this beach, to be honest. But it's not produced, not at all. Tried absolutely everything. I went down to size 2, size 4s on 3-hook flappers and stuff like that, little blow lug. And I managed a tiny little pin whiting on a small blow lug, tip 2 slipper limpet. That was it, that's all we had. We started off the session, it was looking quite nice. We were going to try and do the walk back, but the weed started running through and it was absolutely fierce. I mean, it was hitting the water, you were just gripping in and they were gone. It was a bit unfortunate, to be fair.